Hello, history fans. Welcome back to 5 Point Historian. We have all seen the movie Gladiator, right? Russell Crowe stands in the Colosseum, muscles shining in the sun, fighting to the death while the Emperor gives a thumbs down. It is one of the coolest scenes in cinema history. But I have some bad news for you. Almost everything you think you know about gladiators is a lie. Hollywood cares about drama, not facts. Today we are entering the arena to destroy the myths and uncover 5 lies movies told you about Roman gladiators. Before we pick up our swords and shield, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us fight against fake history. Now put on your helmet because the truth is going to hurt. 1. The thumbs down myth, the wrong gesture. Let's start with the most famous image of all. The gladiator has defeated his enemy. He looks up at the emperor. The crowd screams, "Kill him!" The emperor slowly turns his thumb down. The gladiator kills his opponent. We see this in every movie, cartoon, and comic book. It is the universal sign for death. But in ancient Rome, if you gave a thumbs down, you were actually saving the man's life. The mistake of the painter. Where did this lie come from? It actually comes from a painting made in 1872 by a French artist named Jean-Léon Gérôme. The painting is called Police Verso. It shows the crowd pointing their thumbs down to demand death. Hollywood directors saw this painting, thought it looked cool, and put it in their movies. But the painter was wrong. The Police Verso reality. Historians and linguists have studied Roman texts deeply. The Latin phrase pollice verso means with a turned thumb. But which way did it turn? In Roman culture, the thumb symbolized the sword. A drawn sword meant death. A sheathed sword put away meant life, to kill. The emperor would likely point his thumb up or towards his own throat. This mimicked the action of stabbing a sword into the neck. To save. The emperor would likely press his thumb down inside his closed fist or simply point it toward the ground. This meant put your sword down. So if you went back in time to the Colosseum and gave a thumbs down to a gladiator, he would stop fighting and look at you with confusion. You were trying to be cruel, but you actually told him to show mercy. 2. Every fight ended in death. The economics of survival. In movies, the arena is a slaughterhouse. 20 men enter and only 1 man leaves. It is a bloodbath every single time. This makes for great action, but it makes terrible business sense. The cost of a gladiator. You have to understand that gladiators were not just prisoners, they were investments. A gladiator was like a professional football player today, like Ronaldo or Messi. They belonged to a trainer and owner called a lanista. The lanista spent a fortune on them. He paid for their food, their doctors, their housing, and their intense training. A gladiator had to train for months or years before he was ready for the Colosseum. If the gladiator died in his first fight, the lanista lost all his money. It would be like buying a Ferrari and crashing it on the first day. The lanista would go bankrupt. Therefore, the owners did not want their fighters to die. The role of the referee. Yes, there were referees in the arena. They were called the summa rudis. They wore white tunics and carried long sticks. Their job was to enforce the rules. If a gladiator was injured or if his shield broke, the referee could pause the fight. Historians estimate that only 10% to 20% of fights ended in death in the 1st century. In 90% of matches, the loser was spared. He would surrender by raising 1 finger. The crowd would usually shout, "Misos, let him go," because they wanted to see him fight again another day. The real story, Priscus and Verus. There is a famous recorded story from the year 80 AD during the opening of the Colosseum. 2 famous gladiators, Priscus and Verus, fought each other for hours. They were evenly matched. They fought until they were both exhausted. Did they kill each other? No. They both surrendered at the same exact time. The Emperor Titus was so impressed by their skill and stamina that he declared both of them winners. He gave them both their freedom and wooden swords, the symbol of retirement. It was a happy ending, which is something movies never show you. 3. They look like bodybuilders. The Barley Men. When you think of a gladiator, you think of a fitness model. You imagine a man with six-pack abs, zero body fat, and huge muscles. Basically, you imagine a superhero. The reality of fat. If you saw a real gladiator, you might think he was, well, a bit fat. Recent archaeological discoveries of gladiator skeletons have changed our view. Scientists analyzed their bones and realized their diet was very high in carbohydrates. They were not eating steak and protein shakes. They were eating huge amounts of barley and beans. In fact, their nickname was Horderia, which literally means the barley men. Why be fat? Was this because they were poor? No, it was a strategic choice. In a sword fight, you are going to get cut. If you have ripped muscles with thin skin, like a bodybuilder, a sword cut will slice directly into your muscle or your nerves. That means you can't lift your arm. You lose the fight. But if you have a thick layer of fat over your muscles, the fat acts as organic armor. If an enemy slashes you with a knife, he cuts the fat, but the muscle underneath is safe. You bleed, it looks dramatic for the crowd, but you can keep fighting. The real story, Galen the doctor. We know this because of a famous Roman doctor named Galen. He was the personal doctor for the gladiators in the city of Pergamon. He wrote detailed notes about treating their wounds. He described their bodies as soft flesh. He noted that while they were incredibly strong underneath, they carried extra weight on purpose. So the ultimate warrior didn't look like a statue of Hercules. He looked more like a strong, world's strongest man competitor or a rugby player. Bulky, heavy, and tough. I bet you didn't know that belly fat could save your life in a sword fight. If you are enjoying these surprising facts, please like the video and subscribe to 5 Point Historian. We have 2 more massive lies to uncover. 4. They were all slaves. The volunteers. The classic movie story is simple. A man is captured, his family is killed, he becomes a slave, and he is forced to fight. While it is true that many gladiators were slaves or prisoners of war, they were not the only ones in the arena. The Octorati. By the late Roman Republic, being a gladiator was incredibly popular. They were the rock stars of their age. Their sweat was sold as perfume to rich women. Their portraits were painted on walls. Children played with gladiator action figures made of clay. Because of this fame, free men started to volunteer. These men were called Octorati. They were Roman citizens who went to a lanista and signed a contract. The contract was brutal. They legally agreed to be burned, beaten, and killed with iron. They gave up their freedom for a specific number of years. Why do it? Why would a free man do this? 1. Money. Successful gladiators were rich. If you were deep in debt, signing a contract could pay off your loans. 2. Fame. Some men just wanted the adoration of the crowd. 3. Adventure. For ex-soldiers who missed the thrill of war, normal life was boring. The real story. Emperor Commodus. The craze for the arena went all the way to the top. The Emperor Commodus, the bad guy in the movie Gladiator, actually fought in the arena. This is true, however. Unlike the movie, he didn't fight fair. He would fight against injured soldiers or men with wooden weapons while he had a real steel sword. He fought as a gladiator hundreds of times. The Roman senators hated it. They thought it was shameful for an emperor to act like a low-class fighter, but the crowd loved the spectacle. It proves that the arena wasn't just a prison, it was a stage for anyone who wanted glory. 5. Only men fought, the gladiatrix. Finally, we have the gender myth. In movies, the arena is a men's club. Women are only there to watch and cheer, but history tells a very different and very rare story. The female fighter. Women did fight. They were called gladiatrix, plural, gladiatresses. They were much rarer than men, and they were often used as a novelty or a special event to shock the crowd. But they were not dancers. They were fighters. They fought with the same weapons as men. However, unlike men, they often fought without helmets. Why? Because the organizers wanted the crowd to see their faces and their long hair, so everyone knew they were watching women fight. The real story, the statue of the girl. For a long time, historians thought female gladiators were just a rumor. But then, archaeologists found a small statue in Hamburg. It shows a woman in a gladiator stance, holding a sika, a curved sword. Also, we have historical texts. The Roman historian Suetonius wrote that Emperor Domitian loved to watch fights between women at night by torchlight. He thought it was exotic and exciting. Eventually, in the year 200 AD, Emperor Septimius Severus banned women from fighting in the arena. Why? Not because they were bad at it, but because upper-class Roman women were starting to join in. The emperor thought it was becoming undignified for ladies of society to stab each other for fun. The fact that he had to ban it proves that it was definitely happening. So the next time you watch a Gladiator movie, try to spot the lies. Remember that the thumbs down might actually mean mercy. Remember that the men fighting are probably eating a bowl of beans, not steak. Remember that underneath the fat, they are highly trained professionals who want to survive, not die. And remember that the person behind the helmet might be a volunteer looking for fame, or even a woman. The reality of Rome was strange, complex, and fascinating. It wasn't just a simple bloodbath. It was a complex sport with rules, referees, and superstars. Thank you for stepping into the arena with me today. I hope you learned something new. Which of these facts surprised you the most? Was it the thumbs down rule or the fact that gladiators were chubby? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed busting these Hollywood myths, please like this video, share it with your movie-loving friends, and subscribe to 5 Point Historian. Keep your thumb up or down, and I will see you in the next video.